Time now for the Monday rant or drive time platform. I don't even know what we call it anymore. I've given up. Dominique Samuels, welcome to Talk. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. Are you there in all your glory? Yes, you are. There you are in your lounge with a nice picture behind you. Dominique, loads to talk about. Let's start with one of the subjects we were talking to Simon Boyle from The Sun just then. Jesy Nelson has been, well, she's released this new single. She's left Little Mix. There seems to be some angst between her and the other bandmates. She's been accused of blackfishing. Simon was explaining. What's your take on this? She was apparently accused by other members of the band and some of the management for taking on a different persona from the black community, and they didn't like that. What's your opinion on this, Dominique?
I think it's completely ridiculous, and it actually really got on my nerves because I was never really an avid fan of Little Mix, but I remember watching a BBC documentary called Odd One Out with Jesy Nelson, where she was detailing a lot of the online trolling and abuse she'd received whilst a member of Little Mix because of her appearance. They'd bully things like her weight and her looks. And then to see again, after she's left Little Mix for her own mental health, released a song with Nicki Minaj that's doing tremendously well on the charts, only for people to then be attacking her again over her appearance. What is this obsession? And this whole idea about blackfishing doesn't really make sense. A, when she first auditioned, she had sort of an urban tomboy style anyway and did actually curl her hair. And B, we all borrow things from different cultures to make ourselves look racially ambiguous, whether it be, Korean beauty standards, whether it be black women wearing straight hair, or whether it be white women curling theirs and tanning it. We all do it. So what is this fixation with Jesy Nelson? It's cruel, actually. And considering she once attempted suicide, people really need to look at themselves.
I agree with that, but I think Simon made a point earlier. Apparently, one of the band members Pinnock said to her, they were unhappy while she was still part of the band. From my point of view, right, I understand where you come from. I really love what you're saying. As a woman of colour, I think it's really interesting. You're not being offended by somebody taking on some of the things that you do, say, wear, or whatever. Have we not got to a point where anything can be seen as disrespectful? Do you remember Adele? Didn't Adele do it at some music festival or something last summer? And
she wore Bantu knots, and I actually debated on talk radio about this specifically, and I was saying that she's lived in London.
Yep.
She obviously loves the black community. Her putting Bantu knots in her hair, celebrating a carnival. What's the problem?
Why is that disrespectful? Why is it not a celebration? Why does it have to be taken in a negative way? Do you know what I mean? That's how I would look at it, which is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I think, it originates from viewing everything through the lens of power and domination. So therefore, if a white person appropriates something from a historically oppressed culture, it must immediately be viewed in a negative way. And I don't think so. I think it should be celebrated. The fact that we can borrow things from different cultures and celebrate different cultures is a testament of the brilliant times that we're living in today. It shouldn't be viewed as a negative. And the fact that people are viewing it as that just sort of proves how little left we have to really do, because people are looking for offence wherever they can find it.
But you see, that's the interesting point, isn't it? And I'm interested in this from you. People look for offence wherever they can find it. That's where we've got to, isn't it? I said it earlier on the show. I don't want to I don't want to offend anybody. I want to have an opinion. But I now find myself in a society where you can't say Jack. You can't say anything. You can't even say Jack, because that's apparently sexist, because I should say Jill, and I'm not even making a joke when I say that. It's getting to that point, Dominique, isn't it? It's getting to the point where if you say the wrong thing, wear the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, is it not actually, in the end, going to destroy itself? I mean, I'm all for fairness and equality and diversity, but is it not, in the end, going to be that most people are too scared to even breathe, mate, to be fair?
You already see it destroying itself when you see it amongst people that actually perpetuate this rubbish. For example, Leanne Pinnock, who's obviously in Little Mix, she did a documentary about why black women are more likely to die in childbirth. And when it was announced that she was going to front this documentary, guess who was attacking her? black people. Because what? Because she's half white, so therefore she's not black enough. They do it all of the time, and I find it just really contradictory and disappointing, because we view ourselves through these identity politics focused lens, and eventually no one's going to be allowed to do anything or really explore themselves. I think it's an attack on freedom of expression and freedom of speech myself.
Really interesting. I appreciate your opinions.